Hello, hello. This is the 208th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2225, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. Today we're not putting the past in podcast in your apartment.
Correct. For a change, we will be doing so in yours.
Yes, we're in my department.
Department in your apartment. We were here a few episodes, for episode 200, yeah, so we had the party. Where we had the big party, but usually we record at mine.
Yeah.
So it's quite unusual to be here. Also, it's much quieter this time.
Yeah, it's true actually. It's your apartment is a little bit less quiet.
That aspect, but also specifically much quieter than when we were here for the 200th episode, where there was a whole big party going on.
True, actually.
Yeah.
But also, I wonder, because you're on the 16th floor. Mm-hmm. I'm on the pyramid doesn't really have any floors, but yeah.
Sure, I've got noisier neighbours.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah. I have less neighbours actually.
True.
Maybe that's
especially above.
But yeah, so we're in my department, so I don't think it will sound very different.
No, shouldn't do. We've still got the same low fidelity wave burner with us, so it should work out.
But it looks different.
Looks a little bit different. Not the low fidelity wave burner, but exactly your room around us. You've got way more chrome going on.
Yeah,
way more than I do, and also way more. Like I've got your regular pointy corners, and you've got like in all the corners of your rooms, it's like rounded off.
Yeah, it makes it easier to clean.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but it's kind of annoying for other things.
Like you can't put furniture right into the
exactly,
yeah.
And not even against the wall because
you're right. Not just the corners, but the walls themselves are also curving.
Yeah, there's space between everything and the wall because I can't put anything close to the wall except if the legs are a little bit inside.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
So like the previous bed that I had, the one that isn't floating, so that they still had legs under it.
Yeah, and that sorry, go on.
And that I could actually move all the way against the wall
because of the shape of the legs.
Yeah,
but I was going to say floating. That makes even more sense.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if there's something comes down to the floor, I can't put it against the wall. But it looks really cool because it's really chrome except for the ceiling. It's chrome everywhere, and except for the windows.
Sure. And except for the big tree there in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
That's fair enough for that not to be chrome, because it's an actual tree.
Yeah, it's really old school.
Yeah.
A tree made out of tree.
Is it actually alive, or is it like a...
yeah, it is actually.
Is it like
but it's very slow growing, which is why it still fits.
I see.
Yeah, also I don't water it so much.
Sure, we'll slow it down. And then, sure, there's this other thing I noticed, there's two other main features for our listeners I think they'll find pretty unusual. The one I find most unusual are these, you've got like floating around the room, lamps basically, but they're moving around the room, they're not like static.
Yeah.
And they're lamps that look like, at least as far as I can tell, they look like pancakes with maple syrup like drizzled over the top, and it looks like the syrup's always dripping off.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't act like it just fades out. It doesn't actually hit the floor.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's not actual syrup, and also because
it's actually, I don't actually know what material it is, but that's where the light comes from apparently.
Okay, from the syrupy stuff.
Yeah.
So and those look really cool. They have a little bit of a smell to them, which I like too. Basically pancakes.
True. But it's actually they're not just illuminating the room. They're actually like translucent. Because they're relatively low, so people tend to evade them, but you can actually walk straight through them.
Oh, okay. So they're like holograms almost.
Yes, sure. Let me see.
Because I've been avoiding them. I didn't.
No, you can walk straight through them.
Wow. Okay.
If they're right up your, like on the level of your eyes, it gets very bright for a second.
Right.
But actually they move really around the apartment.
And they weren't here, like back for the party at least they weren't here. So
I moved them away because they, especially if there's a lot of people there, it gets kind of confusing, and B, they don't really illuminate the room so well when there's a lot of people. So how people absorb. Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of cool, and they freely move around the apartment. So if I have the doors open, sometimes they all gather in one room. I don't know what's up with that.
Okay, so you're not controlling where they go.
No, it's I just set them loose and that's it. They also don't need any energy, so they just basically float around. Yeah. Sometimes one disappears, sometimes there's more. I don't really know what's going on with this.
Sure. And like I mentioned, they smell a little bit of actual pancakes. Is that something you can adjust, or is that just like a default? You can't change what they smell like?
I just something I don't really have an influence on. I do because I got them as a present. I'm not really sure if this is like a flavor that you buy or if they all smell like this, or I'm not even sure if they're like organic or.
And the fact you can go through them, I'm guessing they're not, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But but if there's other people there, I just put them in one room, and then at the top of the walls, you don't see now because it's switched off, but there's like a tiny line of light across the wall. So like I can switch it on, and then it's completely pink.
Yeah.
And then the room is, because now it looks like yellowish, I guess. But then the pink, and that's nicely reflected in the chrome. It's like the pancakes don't really do this.
No. Sure, you've got multiple sources of light going on. And then actually, speaking of the third one, which is less, more standard for me, like, these pancake lamps is something like unusual for me. But I think for our listeners, maybe this was even more unusual. You've replaced your entire ceiling with a portal window.
Yeah.
So, we're sitting down, but looking up. Okay, I'm looking up into what looks like there's a volcano all around us, like the
changed it to the volcano this morning.
Yeah. And you can see up on the edges, the insides of the volcano, you can see like a reddish glow. So presumably there's lava going on in this volcano. Yeah, it's not like a dormant one.
I think so too. I could pick many. The portal windows is specifically for a window that looks up.
Yeah.
So that it directly matches to some window somewhere that is also looking up.
So in some volcano somewhere, someone's installed one.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure if it's because my ceiling is not so wide as a volcano, I guess. Maybe there are multiple...
I'm presuming this is like within the basic, like inside the volcano, there'll be maybe more than one, like several windows.
Yeah, but looking up, this looks really cool.
It does.
I had a forest before where you look up through the trees.
You see all the trees up there.
And it really matched with my tree, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
But I had that for a couple of weeks and then I got bored.
Yeah, but then what happens if it rains? Like in the place where the portal is. The portal, the whole point is stuff comes through it, but...
There's glass.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I put glass on top. First I had like a mosquito net. But then,
that's the other thing.
Because looking up, so all kinds of stuff coming down anyway, like dirt and rain and debris and so on. So I had glass installed.
Okay, and then the glass is self-cleaning? Or
No.
Is the glass on your side or on the other side?
It's on my side. Yeah. So it's no, it's not self-cleaning. So I haven't solved this yet. Apparently, I have to occasionally switch it off, get it clean, put it back up. Okay. I'm not doing this. So
this. I hadn't thought of this before, but maybe our main topic for today, maybe that might come in handy. But think about that later. We can discuss that in a second.
Because we haven't even said why we are in my apartment, right?
Correct.
Is this a bridge to...
Could be.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I'm sure there's other things we could say about your apartment for our listeners, but maybe we save that for a future episode.
So why are we in my apartment?
Well, because the topic of today, the Orbital Glider, you won that in a raffle at work.
Yes.
And it's here in your apartment.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
It's right here on the chrome floor of my apartment.
Yep.
And I won it, so that's why we came here.
Exactly. Didn't make sense for you to bring it to my place. So.
Shall I mention to the listeners, because you already know?
Right, how you won it.
Yep. So this was a raffle at Jufopu, my work.
Yep.
Our employees could... you couldn't really buy something, which is like all employees were automatically...
just entered into it, yeah.
Entered into it, exactly. And there were so many prizes that I think 2/3 of the people actually won something, which included me. And I won the Orbital Glyder. And this...
what other kinds of prizes were there?
To be honest, it felt a little bit like they were cleaning up the basement. There were all kinds of like devices and tools and...
Like the kind of stuff that's just been around at the office for years?
Yeah, so it's something where like 10 years ago somebody said, we should keep this. And then, 1 year ago somebody said, let's throw this away. And then this is the compromise solution. No, there were all kinds of there were even some spaceship spare parts, Partian spaceship spare parts. I don't know how we got them. I think one of the cooler ones was 2 tickets to the space rally. That's happening soon.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
Is that like a race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a space race. It's a pretty cool one, actually. I would have loved to have won tickets to the space rally.
Okay. But obviously someone else did. Did you know the person?
Yeah, Miss Hubert. She got them. she was the one that contributed them.
Okay, so they weren't something that was just found in the back of a drawer somewhere. They were actually something.
Exactly. They did have quite a few of those. Like people just ask their partners, or can you organize something yourself, or maybe you have something that other people would like. And but Miss Hubert, she participated in the space rally already twice, and it's actually part of her job to take our alien friends to go see this.
Okay.
So like alien VIPs.
Right.
So she does this every year.
So she goes there often anyway. Oh, it's a yearly thing, yeah, but she goes there.
Yeah.
This won't be a new thing for her.
Exactly. So she actually goes there every year for work because she always has the alien VIPs with her to show the space rally. And then she thought, hey, let's put in some tickets for other people to go, and then she won them herself. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what she's going to do. But
I mean, maybe she swaps them with someone else or something they got.
Maybe she wants to swap them with an orbital glider.
Potentially.
She actually did want that.
Ah, yeah? Yeah. The orbital glider.
Yeah, exactly. Because she has her own spaceship because she participated in the race twice.
Okay. But then yourself, do you have a preference? Would you like more?
I would definitely would like the tickets more.
Oh, well then, let's talk about it this episode, and then see if you can.
You know, actually, that might
I mean, if you want to send a message now, just so you don't forget. Well, I think we won't forget.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad idea. Actually, let's think about this. But yeah, so the orbital glider.
Yes. We haven't said what it does yet, have we?
No.
We've said the name, but it's a bit of a, at least when I first heard the name, before I knew what it actually was, I was imagining some kind of glider, that flies through the sky, presumably in orbit. But it doesn't, it's not that.
No, I was thinking maybe we do like a bit of a multiple choice for our listeners.
Yeah, so it's good that I didn't say what it actually does just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But although I've spoiled it a little bit, okay, for our listeners, it's not something that glides through the sky in orbit.
Yeah, that's true. But we can, I thought maybe we can say 4 things, and then the listeners can think which one of them this is, it does, and then we can say it.
Yeah, exactly. Bit of a game for them. Yeah.
Okay, so...
But we'll answer within this episode. They don't have to wait till like next week.
Exactly. And then we take a break and then cliffhanger. Okay, so 4 things. So first... answer number A, it's pure decoration in the sky.
Yeah. Like your lamps here, maybe, just purely for decoration.
It's just an orbital glider, it's just sky decoration.
Yep. So you said A, yeah?
Yes, that was A.
Yep. So B is a helmet that is also a fish tank.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not spoiling it.
No.
C, a device that cleans spaceship windows. Possibly.
Could be. And D, okay, I maybe spoiled this a little, a super fast landing through Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, it's so you're saying it's not gliding, but like this.
It doesn't glide, but
it's just for super fast landing through Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, some device for that.
Okay, so
dum-de-dum-de-dum.
Yeah.
Imagine or guess, our listeners, guess what you think it might be, and then shall we reveal it in 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1.
I forgot the letter.
I also.
It's the device that cleans spaceship windows.
That's what it is.
Was it C?
Probably.
Was it B?
Yeah, I think it was C.
Okay, it was C.
Exactly. If people wrote down C.
Yes. Then you got it right. If you got any other 3 things, then maybe in a future episode. I would like to see this helmet that's also a fish tank.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be called an orbital glider, but maybe we'll find such a thing.
Or maybe we invent this. I have never seen something like that.
Nope.
We should invent it and then make an episode about it.
Yeah, right. Create our own subjects.
Yes, our own inventions. And then once we're done with it, we can give it to the UFOPO raffle.
Sounds good.
Okay, so it does actually clean the outside of windows in space stations and ships. That's kind of its unique selling point. Shall we describe what it looks like? Because it's laying here on the floor. Yeah. You want to describe what it looks like?
Yeah, can do. I mean, right now it's just switched off state. So what it looks like is, big, conveniently or suitably enough, a big chrome sphere.
Yeah.
With a black line around the middle. And okay, I know this already, so I'm going to... Basically, it's split apart into 2 hemispheres. So So chrome on the outside, and then the inside edge has a dark purple foam.
Yeah.
Or foam, more like felt, I guess. Like a soft fabric, It's pretty basic how it looks. It's got some, of course, it's got, your occasional blinking red LED, well, they're not blinking now, but red LEDs, which will presumably blink when it's activated.
It's, there's one thing you can't see now, but I've seen this in the brochure. So if it's on, it has some sort of kind of like wingy things. It's kind of
like fold out?
Yeah, kind of like pointy, wingy things that kind of fold out of the hemisphere.
Like on the outside, on the chrome aspect, not the because the flat part is what's going to go against the window. To spoil it a little bit, but on the chrome part it has these bits that poke out. Yeah,
exactly. So it's not on the flat part exactly, but it's on the chrome. I'm not sure where they're coming from because you can't actually see it. Maybe
we should switch it on in a sec, maybe, and we can.
Cool. Yeah, we should.
Maybe not just yet though.
Not sure if it has any battery, but. Yeah, good idea. Okay, so you've already kind of like hinted at it. So do we want to tell the listener how it cleans?
Sure, yeah, right, because it's got this felt, the flat surface has this felt texture. And basically, you put one half on one side of the window, the other half on the other. They're magnetized, they stick, they hold themselves close to each other. And then when you switch it on, of course, importantly, the red blinking LED comes on. And then also, they move around on the surface of the window, cleaning both sides at the same time. The shape doesn't really make so much sense because it can't really clean the corners. If the window's rectangular, works well when the window's round, of course, then it's not a problem.
I wonder if it can clean my apartment because it's also round. Hold on.
Wait, no, the surface itself needs to be flat, meaning like just the edges.
Yeah.
But you've got really these curved everywhere things.
It's not working.
But maybe, and this is what I had the idea of earlier, maybe this glass thing up here protecting the portal window. Rather than you were saying, maybe you have to take the glass away and get it cleaned elsewhere, but could try this on that.
You see, this is almost like we planned this, but we didn't.
Almost, but it's actually just a coincidence.
Cool.
And I guess it depends what's out on. So, okay, well, right now there's a volcano. Okay, if some lava actually falls down, I don't know if this can withstand lava, but probably it'll be fine against rain and dust. And
it's made for space. Space is pretty scary.
It's scary. There's not so much lava in space.
True. So exactly.
It'll be good with a vacuum. So, at some point, you have the portal looking out from like a portal window, like on the moon, for example, which is a vacuum.
True.
This would be ideal.
If it's in operation, I understood it sometimes attracts space animals.
Okay.
It's like they're
drawn to it.
Yeah, exactly. So like strangely mesmerized by its moon.
And that's why it's the shape it is, so that when they try and sit on it, they slide off.
I guess. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. There's not much way for them to grip onto it, like to purchase with their tentacles or whatever.
Although, like maybe in space, everything is kind of like very, clean and very, very human maybe, but this thing independently moving around a space station, maybe it gives the space animals the idea like, hey,
this is someone to hang out with.
Yeah. But that's how it works. So then you mentioned just now.
Yeah, we could try it out.
Shall we do it?
Let's give it a go. Although, let's give it a go. Just switching on, definitely. I said we could clean the thing. I'm not sure how we'd get the top half above the portal window there.
No, that we can't really
we can't do that.
I thought, because there's an on button on the side.
Sure, let's just switch it on.
See what happens.
Yep. See what beeps and boops it makes.
We only have one side here anyway, so I'm not sure. I guess I have to take one side off.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, let me switch it on here.
Yep. Oh, okay, the red LED's on, but now it's also... I didn't expect that. So for our listeners, it's kind of flip-flopping all over the floor there. It's not just sitting still like I imagined. Is it doing like a... I don't know. When you switch something on and it goes through like a process? Is that what it's doing? Or?
I don't know. You see the point that it's kind of coming out, but not completely.
Right. What are those even for?
I have no idea.
Okay, is it going to stop or can you switch it off? Or?
Yeah, switch it off now.
Okay, yeah.
See, it looks like it's half working.
Yeah. Maybe it needs to be configured in some way?
Or maybe it needs the other half. And like without the other half, this is how it behaves.
Sure. Looking for its other half.
Okay, maybe that's what it's doing.
Flip-flops around at random until it finds it and then it latches on.
It kind of looked like a fish on
the way
land.
It was, yeah, like the way it wasn't flexing like it, but the way it was flip-flopping on the floor, yeah.
Okay, I guess we or maybe that's why we had it, because it was broken. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why they want to get rid of it.
Maybe. That's a bit sad if that's the case. But then in that case, if you can swap them over for the tickets, that would be a good idea.
Well, for
you. Okay.
For me anyway.
Yeah.
But okay. Actually, we don't really have a spaceship at the ready here. We're not in the vacuum either. Maybe that's how it behaves, because it's in an atmosphere.
Right. And it is meant, or at least one half is meant to operate in a vacuum. That's the point. Which half is this? The inside or the outside? I was assuming it didn't matter which half was on the inside. They both could do both. But maybe one side is only for the vacuum, one side's only for the pressurized.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Or maybe it only works if one side is pressurized and the other one is in a vacuum. Right. Maybe. Okay. Well, at least it was pretty cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't know how the sound came across, but it was fun to look at.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think that's about as far as our Orbital Glyder knowledge goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to finding out if you do get to swap them for the tickets, but that'll be in a future episode if we come back to it.
Yeah.
Okie doke. I think the last couple of episodes, we had an email that we kept putting off because those went long. Mm-hmm. Shall we answer it at last? Or a different email?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, here we go. Oh, no, wait, sorry. I'm going to be rude. Let's push that off to next time.
Okay.
Because actually, this time we've got, I forgot about it, but was it our last episode? I think it was, yeah. Where we were asking our listeners for suggestions for names.
Oh, yeah. You put them together?
Agency. I did.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, because we picked one.
Exactly. But we did that like a few days ago, so that's why I was gone out of my memory.
Actually, the names of our time travel agency.
That was the point.
Yeah.
Listeners were kind enough to send us their suggestions, which we'll read out now in a sec, and we chose one of them that we're going to go with.
Yeah, but we also picked some runner-ups because there were quite a few...
Right, let's not list every single one, but there were some which were pretty good. We didn't go with them.
They were fun to go through. Mm-hmm. They were way better than the things that we came up with spontaneously.
I handily cannot remember any of the ones we came up with.
No, me either.
But then, yeah, sure, let's say the runner-ups. So the runners-up? Either way, the ones we didn't go with. So, first one, Rubber Popper. Yeah,
I liked that one because it had absolutely nothing to do with time travel.
Right, it was just a name.
But it's just like Rubber Popper that really, I don't know. I would like to have like a brand called Rubber Popper.
Yeah, right. Maybe not a time travel agency, but maybe something else.
It could be the Rubber Poppers.
Yeah.
The Rubber Poppers.
That could be the name of the people who work in the age or in whatever this business is.
Yeah. We could even have like a comic, our own time travel agency comic, the Rubber Poppers.
And they're like... the antagonists in the story could be called the Papa Robbers. See, a bit of mixing things up there.
That's great.
And they're basically puppies, that's why they're puppers. Papa, and they rob stuff, they're thieves.
The puppy robbers.
The Papa Robbers. You're literally just swapping the first letter.
Yes.
Anyway, that's another thing entirely. But the other names were all, more obviously time-related. There was Timeless, Chrono Tours, Deja Vu, and Eternal Excursions.
They all sound pretty cool. I mean, pretty memorable. I like Timeless with a hyphen.
Yeah, right, with a dash between the two. Sure, we didn't go with that though, because less has some negative connotations.
Timeless. Yeah.
Like less time,
True.
Actually. For some things that's good, like, you want to spend less time doing stuff you don't like, but this is meant to be a holiday, you want to do something you enjoy.
And we didn't go with the Eternal Excursions because there's a spinach brand also already using this.
Yeah.
But it would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, and then shall we say the winner, basically? Yes. The name we did go with. So this is Getaway Back.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Getaway Back.
Getaway Back.
So it's like getaway, way back, getaway back.
Yeah.
I like this. I can't remember who came up with this, but this was a really good idea.
Yeah. And it works on multiple levels, yeah? Like folk from the past visiting the future. So you get away, then you go back to your time. And then people, if we do it the other way around, folk from the future going to the past, get away, and then come back to the past.
It works perfectly. Mm-hmm. Actually, I just said I didn't remember who came up with this, but of course it's still nice to give credit. So
of course,
you can quickly scroll my
lens. I didn't put the names down next to this, which was a bit rude of me.
So let me scroll my lens. This was Niels.
Niels.
So thanks, Niels. Thanks for the suggestion. We'll definitely use it if we then actually start.
Sure. We haven't actually started the travel agency.
At least we have the name.
That's very important. Okie dokie. So then, listeners to Test from the Future, who've heard this episode, please email us at microlasagna5@gmail.com and put the number 208 in the subject line so we know this successfully went back in time. And if you have any questions that we will totally answer at some future point, please include those in your email too.
For now, thanks for listening and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.